Welcome back to Empowerment Nursing. I'm Linda and this is Ashley and we are nurse educators. You are tuning into our series In the Know where we make it simple. Today we are simplifying NCLEX myths.
First of all, what's a myth? So a myth is a statement that's told with such certainty that they become beliefs that are passed on from one person to the next person, often in a Facebook group of entire people. Without questioning them, myths become ingrained as truths, but they actually have no factual basis in the evidence. So today we are going to debunk the top 5 myths about the NCLEX exam.
We've spoken to a lot of graduates who talk about the registration exam experience, and we find that what they say to us isn't true. The beliefs that they hold just aren't true. Mm-hmm. And this often leads them to feeling more fear and anxiety, which really is not necessary. For instance, myth number 1, there is a common myth that if you write 75 questions, you pass. Well, this is a myth. You can fail or pass at any number of questions on the NCLEX between 75 and 265 questions, anywhere in there. And we have previous videos that we have published on this if you'd like to look at those.
Mm-hmm. Myth number 2, if you get a question wrong, the exam will continue to give you questions on that same content. So I'll write this down as repeat content. So we often have students say, I heard that if you get a maternity question wrong, you don't know your maternity, you'll keep getting hammered with maternity questions over and over and over again. There is absolutely no truth to that. They will not give you repeat questions on content that you are doing poorly in. That simply does not happen. Every single graduate's exam will be individual and will be different. Often it feels that way because you remember the questions you didn't know the answer to. So if you were weak in maternity, say for example, you'll remember the questions that you didn't know the answer to. So it might feel like you got a lot of those questions, but it's simply a myth and there's no truth to it whatsoever.
Myth number 3, you don't need to prepare for the exam as you can write it up to 8 times per year, depending on, of course, where you live and what the policy is. Well, let me just say that there is a heavy toll to pay if you go into this exam and you don't study for this, and not just emotionally, but financially, if you fail the exam. Graduate students underestimate both of these, and they go in there just seeing how they do the first time. That is a really big mistake. And mostly this is a big mistake because it undermines your confidence. It undermines your sense of the emerging nurse that you're becoming, right? You finish school, you're ready to be registered. And so when you just kind of wing it and go in there without studying, it really robs you of your confidence, the confidence that you need to be at the bedside.
Myth number 4, failing in 265 questions. So a lot of students say if they failed in 265 questions, it's because they didn't know anything. Actually, it's quite opposite. That is a myth. If you failed in 265 questions, it means you knew a whole bunch of content. Because of course, if you refer back to our Facebook Live on how the NCLEX determines a pass or a fail, if you are doing very poorly and you literally don't know anything, the computer will shut off long before question 265. If you write 265 questions according to the algorithm, you're getting answers correct and going above the passing line, and getting them incorrect and going below it, and coming back above it, going back below it. So you have to know a lot of content to kind of keep that algorithm guessing for 265 questions. So 265 questions, whether you pass or fail in 265 questions, is an indication that you knew a lot of content.
And finally, myth number 5, we hear this a lot. Everybody in my class passed. I went in there with people and wrote it with people in my class who didn't do as well in the program as I did, and they passed and I failed. This confirms I'm not cut out for nursing. Okay, this is a myth because every single person in that room wrote a different exam. You cannot compare yourself to anybody else that was in there because you didn't write what anybody else wrote when you write the NCLEX exam. Also, don't go and write this exam with your friends and get off of Facebook. Stop comparing yourself to everybody else in your class.
We hope that these 5 myths have helped you become enlightened with the facts. So 75 questions doesn't equal a pass. They will not repeat the content and hammer you with content you're weak in. It doesn't mean because you have unlimited rights that you shouldn't prepare. If you fail in 265 questions, it doesn't mean you're incompetent. And just because other people are passing and you're not, it doesn't say anything about your value in this profession. You could have written the exam that they wrote and passed quite easily. So everybody's exam experience is completely individual. We invite you to subscribe to our live videos so you'll be notified whenever we go online. You can also follow us on our YouTube channel. Like and share this video with your nursing friends to help enlighten them when it comes to these 5 myths of the NCLEX exam. Check out our Facebook page and our website at www.n-powermentnursing.com, where you can view all of our complete study packages. We are authorities on your NCLEX exam, so if you want to know what you need to know to pass your registration exam, we do guarantee you will pass or we'll give you your money back. Thank you so much for joining us for these top 5 NCLEX myths, and we will see you next time on In the Know. Bye for now.